Ba 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 ba. Hey everyone. So it's been a while. I know I've been gone since last August, I believe, and I wanted to come on here and sort of explain where I've been, why I've not been uploading videos, and whether or not I'm coming back to this channel. And yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but the outlook is not too bright on that last one. So I want to split this video up into 3 parts. First is talking about what Digimon means to me, how much of a presence it's been in my life. Part 2 is talking about my experience specifically with the card game. And part 3 is where do I go from here? And I suppose there's another part at the start, which I'll get into, which is where I've been. So, if you don't know me too well, you may notice that my background is different. I have moved apartments recently. I now live in the city, and my setups are going to be a bit different from here. I no longer have my Yeti mic. Well, I do have it, but it's in my storage. So I'm just using a performance microphone. It's a Shure SM58 that I use when I'm performing on stage. Hooked up to an XLR cable, which is plugged into my laptop, which is currently recording into Audacity in mono. Interesting. I don't think it really matters too much. Yeah, so that's been going on. I've had quite a lot of changes in the past year. I've started a new job. I've been sort of moving around project to project. I don't know if I've ever talked about my work on this, but I'm a data engineer. So I do a lot of consulting work for databases, data pipelines, all that fun stuff that totally... I was going to say it totally relates to Digimon, but if you think about it, if Digimon were real, data engineers would be kind of important to that. Anyway, that's the important part, is in the last year, I have been so busy and just haven't really felt the time or the passion to make as many videos, especially towards the end of last year when my enjoyment of the game started to wane, shall we say. My first experience with Digimon was when I was, I believe, 7 years old. I just moved schools and didn't really have all that many friends at my new school. Then I met a boy named James, who's still a friend of mine. Don't see him too often, but we'd chat if I saw him. And he was big into Pokemon, and he eventually got me into Pokemon as well. But one day he got into this alternative to Pokemon that was called Digimon. Digimon Adventure, to be specific. So I was born in 1998, so this would have been 2005 or 2006 by this point. So I believe that Savers was airing in Japan at the time, but it hadn't been dubbed yet. I believe. I could be entirely wrong with that. Feel free to fact check me in the comments below. I don't think it really matters. But I immediately latched on more to this new alternative than the Pokemon that was the popular thing among the kids. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy Pokemon at the time. I got very into the card game, got very big into Diamond and Pearl when they came out, Platinum as well, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Sort of started to wane a bit after that, got back into it around when I was 16, fell out of it again, and now it's sort of something I just enjoy passively. Definitely not as big as Digimon is to me. Didn't really actually get too much into the first, because he lent me one of his DVDs of the very first episodes, and it was fine. It didn't quite latch me. And then I watched, of all things,
The Digimon movie.
Which in retrospect is dog shit. But to a young child like myself at the time, I thought it was so good, and I'm not gonna lie, most of that soundtrack is still on my playlist to this day, 20 years later. It had a profound impact on me, and I went back and watched all of Adventure, then all of Zero Two, then Tamers, and then Frontier, and then I started to watch Savers in the sub, and then eventually the dub started, so I started watching that as well. I was a huge Digimon kid. I cannot deny that. It was a big part of young me's hyperfixation. And then I kind of started to, just as I grew up, distance myself from it. Moving into secondary school, kind of throwing out all my young enjoyments and trying to be a teenager. It happens. Then I want to say it was around 2018 or 2019 when I was on my PlayStation 4 at the time, and I noticed that there was a Digimon game on sale, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. This actually would have been pre-Hacker's Memory, whatever year that would have been. You can work it out in the comments. So I bought it, and I played it. And I played it. And I played it. I played so much Cyber Sleuth, and it got me reinvested back into Digimon for a while. And it always kind of lay dormant. In my mind, I started watching people like Carney X, and just getting into Digimon as a franchise. Even though I didn't really watch the anime anymore. I never watched Cross Wars, I never watched Appmon. But in 2020, during the lockdown, I noticed that there was a reboot of Adventure. And I decided to watch it for a while. And it kind of lost me halfway through. It's not fantastic, but it's got its merits. And I met with another friend. Her name's Savannah. Shout out if you watch my videos. And she introduced me to the brand new Digimon Card Game. And that was kind of where things went from there. I got in around BT4 format just before BT5 dropped. And from there, I played in locals every week, started going to regionals, just having a good time with it. I spent a lot of fucking money on this game. And that takes me up to 2025. So early 2025, the set 2.5 comes out, and I pick up the Royal Knights deck. And I had a lot of fun with that deck. I really enjoyed playing it. So much so that when I went to Glasgow in March of 2025, I ended up taking home top 16 and getting invited to Nationals. I was very happy with that. I kind of got really excited over the year for what Nationals could bring. Then the 2025 cards started to come out. And it started to shift into an era of, I call it slop design. I don't know if that's a common thing, where it's things like CS and TS and Adventure, these massive archetypes that all have these intermingling cards between them. TS being the worst offender, but we'll talk about that, which I really don't like. I'm of the opinion that if you want to make cards work together, you should test them together. And with the size of CS and TS, that's not feasible. So I just don't think it's a good idea to make those archetypes work together. Like, the interaction between Hoodymon and the CS rookies should have been caught in testing. I'm fully of the opinion that should have been caught. Doesn't matter, it's already, the damage has been done. And this made for a less exciting regionals in Bristol in November last year. I went 4-4 with the Royal Knights, which was okay. I would have liked to have done better, but I didn't really care at the time. And then in December, I traveled to Dusseldorf in Germany for Nationals, which was hands down the worst Digimon event I have ever been to in my life. I'd say it's the worst card game event I've ever been to, but I haven't really been to actually all that many card game events. I've played quite a lot of card games casually, but never really on a competitive scale, so this was the first time I'd ever seen an event this large. And I recorded a video when I got home, and I just did not have the energy or the desire to edit it and post it. Because the way I see it, if Bandai don't have the respect to give us good prizing, to give us good events, then it's just not worth talking about. That video still exists. If you want me to find the raw recordings and upload them, I will. I'm not going to edit it or anything because it's been so long that it's hardly even relevant now. I'm sure you've seen a lot of people's complaints about that event. But it really made me question, do I still enjoy playing this game? And I really wanted to believe the answer was yes. So I decided to stick with it until I saw what TS is doing. And finding out that they're giving TS 2 more sets of support, and Beat Break is coming, and Data Squad is coming. You know, I'd hoped that the slop design was just going to be an experiment that they tried for a year, figured out the issues with it, and then dropped it. But nope, this is the future of Digimon. Everything's going to work together. There's going to be broken ass synergies, and we're just going to have to suck it up. In Dusseldorf, I decided 3 things. We'd heard about these dual cards, but we didn't know what they were yet. So I decided, if dual cards give me a drive to stay in the game, I'll stay in the game. If the next ban list gives me a drive to stay in the game, I'll stay in the game. If Bandai stops with the slop design and proves to me that they're caring about the future of the game, then I'll stick with the game. And as of last weekend, or maybe the weekend before, whichever weekend the ban list got revealed, I'm firmly convinced that all 3 of those have not succeeded. Dual cards are a fun concept. Like half Digimon, half option. Until you realize they are just Digimon with alternate Digivolution costs that cost different amount of memory and have different when Digivolving effects that count as the options, but they aren't really, and there's a few niche synergies here and there, and you can't play them to the board, so I know that my favorite deck, Royal Knights, isn't going to get any of those, or if they do, they're going to change drastically how the deck plays, which I know they are doing for EX13, but I'll probably not be sticking around to see how that goes. Or maybe I'll dip back in. Who knows? I don't like Arts Digivolve, I'll be real. I think there should have been some kind of trade-off between using the option card effect or using the Digimon. But that harkens back to a time when the game was balanced, and it's just fucking not anymore, so I was never going to be happy with what the dual cards were going to be. Because what I have envisioned in my mind was, you know, it probably wouldn't have been powerful enough for the modern format. I've heard a lot of people talk that memory is irrelevant now, that security is irrelevant now, and I feel it way more than ever. I think it's great that we've hit Hammer Spark and Gravity Crush and Blinding Ray all to 1, and I was like, okay, we're going to see Tumblebond go to 1 as well on the next ban list. Nope, we're going to see Hoodie dealt with. That deck's nearly tier 0. Yeah, no. But the deck I played at Nationals, that deck got eviscerated. Because apparently that was the problem. Bandai seemed to be more focused on Japanese players than players in the West. And I don't think that's fair on us. I think they should be aiming to make the game as fun and enjoyable for everybody. And I don't think they know how to do that anymore. I'm just going to be straight real with you. I don't think they know how to do that anymore. So it ended up being that my favorite part of Dusseldorf was when I wasn't playing Digimon. I got so upset and angry when I was playing the game, and just so... it just put me in a bad mood. And there was one of the days I was out in the town. Is Dusseldorf a town or a city? I don't know. But yeah, one of the days I was out with my friends in the town, and I actually had a lot of fun, and I was in such a good mood. We went on the Ferris wheel, we went and tried new food, went to the market, we had a great time. And then my other friends who were at the stadium that day came back, started talking about Digimon, and my mood just completely dampened. And that's kind of the effect it's been having on me since, which is why I've tried so hard to make a comeback video to explain where I've been, tell you guys what's going on, and I just haven't had the energy because I don't love this game anymore. I feel like it's kind of run its course with me. I don't think it's impossible to fix things, but under where Bandai's going, it's not going to happen. I think we're going to get to about BT 30, and then Bandai's going to start pushing a reboot, the same way that they did for Fusion World, and it'll likely splinter the game and probably lead to its demise. You can call me a doomer all you want, and I hope I'm wrong. I do hope I'm wrong, because I know a lot of great people who have a lot of fun with this game still, and I'm not going to say that they're wrong for that. I just don't enjoy it anymore. I don't enjoy the direction it's going. I don't enjoy the lack of any support from Bandai in the West. The ban lists we get twice a year that don't do anything or do the wrong things. You know, I'm not excited. I'm going to regionals next weekend in Bristol, and there is a very real chance that it will be my last Digimon event. At least for the time being, until Bandai can prove that, you know, they're going to fix things. Which I feel like I'm holding out a lot of hope that they will, because I've got a lot of great friends in this game. I have a lot of great memories with the game, but ultimately I need to do what's best for me, and leaving this game behind is seemingly that. So for the future of this channel, I will not be uploading any more Digimon Card Game content. I think that's a given, based on what I've already said. Outside of that, I am a dungeon master, or a game master, or whatever term you want to use. And I've been throwing around the idea for a Digimon mini campaign that I might record and stream on here. I also might just make Digimon general content. Sort of the likes of Carney X and what he does, Fueled by Sandwiches. They do their Digimon quizzes, they're fantastic. Yeah, so I might do that. I still love Digimon as a franchise, I still have a lot of great memories with the franchise, but I will be pivoting out of card game content. If you want some card game content, you should go check out Loomis TCG, he's a good friend of mine. You should check out KNT Elixir, DigiDane, DigiDread. All these guys, they have great channels. I want this game to succeed, and if you're excited about the game, I want you to enjoy the game. I don't want to come across as a hater. I don't want to come across like I'm raining on anyone's parade, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I just want to explain my position, why I haven't been uploading videos, and why I'm not going to be uploading any more card game content in the future. So take this as my last card game video. I've been talking it over with friends since December. It is now March. And yeah, I think leaving this game behind is going to be the best for me. So it's been great. All the videos I've done, my kind of crazy deck, my Raidenmon mill deck that did very well, my Adamon deck, Nature Spirits. I made a lot of very fun videos. And I want to continue making content, but this game just doesn't excite me anymore. So I'm going to see what's best. I'm going to figure that out, and it'll probably take some time. Don't expect to see me on here again anytime soon. But I do wish you all the best. And if you are a player of the game, I hope you succeed. I hope you achieve everything that you want to, and I hope you continue to have fun. I've been trying to wrap this video up now for the last like 5 minutes. Don't know how long it's been, but cheerio. I'll see you guys later.